King Harris has been making headlines for years, and now fresh reports say he was jumped by a group on the street. So, naturally, people are asking, has T.I.'s son finally run out of luck after constantly putting himself in situations his last name couldn't shield him from? The clip spread across every major social platform within hours. King Harris, the 21-year-old son of Atlanta rap icon T.I.S. and R&B star Tiny Harris, was allegedly caught on the wrong side of a street situation that left the internet stunned. Posts and reports claimed King got pulled into a violent altercation. And for anyone who's been watching his path over the past few years, the reaction wasn't shock. It felt more like a dark sense of, here we go. Because this is someone who spent most of his adult life telling the world he's not the privileged celebrity kid people think he is. He's told anyone who would listen that he stands on business. He said it to Waffle House workers. He said it to his own father. He said it on Instagram Live in front of thousands. And now, based on what's flooding timelines, the streets may have decided to test that claim. T.I.'s reaction, according to people close to the family, was immediate and intense. This is a man who built his name out of Bankhead, survived prison time, and turned setbacks into a full-blown empire. And now, he's reportedly dealing with something no fame or money can instantly fix the consequences of his son's choices playing out in real time. Sources say T.I. was making calls, reaching out to lawyers and anyone with influence, trying to piece together what happened and what could be done next. But to really understand how King Harris ended up here in the middle of chaos with the internet watching, you have to rewind. You have to go all the way back. Not just to the incidents, but to the identity struggle that shaped his entire public image. Because King Harris didn't just fall into trouble overnight, he moved toward it loudly, intentionally, and often on camera. King was born in 2004. By then, his father had already dropped the platinum-selling album Trap Music and launched Grand Hustle Records. By the time King could walk, T.I. was one of the biggest names in rap. The family lived in gated communities, had security, and enjoyed a level of wealth most people from Bankhead never see. King grew up on VH1's T.I. and Tiny, The Family Hustle, a show that captured their life: big houses, luxury cars, and a lifestyle wrapped in celebrity comfort. Cameras were always around. He was protected, surrounded by privilege, and far removed from the streets his father came from. And that's where everything starts to shift. At some point, King Harris decided the life he was given wasn't the image he wanted to carry. He didn't want to be seen as the kid from a gated community. He didn't want to be known as T.I.'s sheltered son. He wanted the streets, and he wanted people to believe it. The problem? Wanting that life and actually living it are two completely different things, and that gap is exactly where his issues began. The first real glimpse of that tension came in May 2022, when King was just 17. He walked into a Waffle House in Atlanta and got into a heated argument with staff over pickles. Not something serious, just a messed up order. Instead of brushing it off, King went live on Instagram, telling viewers he was about to go back in and turn up. He stormed inside, yelling, cursing at employees, and escalating things until a worker told him to take it outside. King, still streaming, jumped up like he was ready, but it didn't stop there. Outside, he kept provoking the employee, even threatening to pistol whip him and saying he'd come back later that night. Then, he did something that revealed everything underneath the tough talk. He pulled out a stack of cash and said, "Everything you make, I can pull out my pocket right now." In that moment, King mixed street energy with a trust fund flex. He was trying to prove he was tough, while also proving that his version of tough came backed by money. The internet noticed, and the backlash was brutal. People flooded social media, calling on T.I. to step in. Comments ranged from, "T.I. needs to come get his son," to calling King a privileged kid pretending to be something he's not. Many warned it wouldn't end well if things kept going this way. T.I. responded, but not how people expected. He went on Instagram Live and said he and King's uncles had talked to him, but admitted they were confused about why King felt the need to argue with a short-order cook. He questioned why his son would engage with someone at a completely different stage in life, and encouraged him to avoid public drama and just enjoy what he has. That didn't sit right with everyone. Some fans felt T.I. was brushing it off instead of holding him accountable. But that Waffle House moment? That was just the beginning. The real turning point came later, and it played out in front of 60,000 people at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. On the 26th of November 2023, the Harris family attended the Atlanta Falcons vs. New Orleans Saints game. Everything looked normal at first. King was posting from the field, Tiny was in a suite, and T.I. was there with the family. But behind the scenes, things were about to explode. What started as light teasing between father and son quickly turned into a serious confrontation inside their suite. T.I. began questioning King's claims about growing up hard. Then he hit him with a direct question. "King, you ever woke up with a roach on your face?" When King couldn't say yes, T.I. made his point clear. "Then you don't know what you're talking about." It was a public breakdown of the image King had been building. His own father, someone with real, documented street credibility, was calling it out in real time. King didn't take it well. During an Instagram Live, he got into a shouting match, repeating, "You cappin'. You know I know you." Tension escalated fast. At one point, someone shoved King, and he reacted loudly, saying, "Why y'all doing that? Y'all know me. I stand on business. Why would you let someone play with me like that?" That phrase, "I stand on business," had become his signature. But in that moment, in a luxury suite surrounded by family and security, it didn't land the same. T.I. fired back with a line that went viral. "You are embarrassing yourself and your family." Then things turned physical. T.I. put King in a headlock, telling him, "You can't do nothing with me." People in the background tried to calm things down before the video cut. Tiny stepped in too, reminding King he did grow up with privilege. King pushed back, saying he spent time at his grandmother's house and got into fights growing up. He insisted he didn't want the gated life, he wanted to be outside, in the neighborhood. He even offered to take them to a bando to prove his point, questioning his father's narrative. Afterward, King posted and quickly deleted several messages on Instagram, doubling down on his stance. But one post stood out more than the rest. He wrote something that hinted at something deeper, questioning whether his father truly supported him behind the scenes. That line cut through all the bravado and revealed something else: a young man not just arguing about image, but possibly struggling with feeling understood. T.I. later addressed everything, posting that family comes first and highlighting a recent appearance they had together where things seemed positive. At that event, King joked about playing his father in a biopic, and T.I. spoke proudly about his potential. He said King could do anything if he could get out of his own way. That statement would end up hitting harder with time, because after that, things didn't slow down, they picked up. In October 2024, King was arrested after almost hitting a police car while leaving a gas station in his BMW. Officers pulled him over, smelled marijuana, and noticed a firearm. When they checked his record, they found an outstanding warrant from 2022 tied to speeding, driving with a suspended license, and DUI after he failed to show up in court. Body cam footage showed the full arrest. Officers said he was cooperative, removed the firearm without issue, and detained him. A search of the car turned up small bags of marijuana. He was taken to DeKalb County Jail, booked, and later transferred due to the warrant. And what made the timing even more interesting, just weeks later in November, King and the mother of his child, who goes by Big Nana, welcomed a baby boy into the world. King shared the news on Instagram, writing, "No, 5:09 a.m. Welcome, King Jr. Time to take over." He also dropped a track titled "Dear Son," dedicated to the newborn. Here was a young man who had just been booked into county jail with a firearm on his hip and a warrant hanging over him, now stepping into fatherhood and declaring it was time to take over. The gap between his reality and the image he was pushing was only getting wider. At the same time, his relationship with his father kept following that same rocky path. By September 2024, another viral moment surfaced, this time involving not just T.I., but another rap heavyweight. A video showed T.I. and Boosie Badazz confronting King Harris and Boosie's son, Tootie Raw, on a music video set. The younger artists were filming with props, extras, and firearms when their fathers stepped in. Boosie kicked things off, questioning why they always had to include guns, suggesting they switch the message up. King initially defended it, saying it wasn't illegal. But both fathers pushed back, arguing that legal or not, it still promotes a lifestyle that could get them hurt or worse. King later went online to clarify, saying, "Y'all ain't never seen me post a gun ever in life. I don't even own a gun," which raised eyebrows, considering that just months earlier, police had removed a firearm from his hip during a traffic stop. Then came 2026, and with it, the T.I. versus 50 Cent situation that pulled King into his most serious controversy yet. The long-running tension between the two rappers took over timelines in February 2026. While their issues dated back years, things escalated when 50 reposted an old video of T.I., followed by memes mocking the Harris family. King, true to form, didn't stay quiet. T.I. and his sons Domani and King dropped multiple diss tracks aimed at 50. But King's response crossed a line that even his own father couldn't ignore. After 50 posted an unflattering image of Tiny, King fired back with a heated rant, repeatedly bringing up 50 Cent's late mother. The comments were harsh, deeply personal, and clearly meant to hit where it hurts most. He referenced her passing in graphic, disrespectful ways. T.I. later said in an interview, "That's where he drew the line. I said that's enough when I seen that t-shirt," he explained, referring to King wearing a shirt featuring 50's late mother. Even in the middle of a public feud, T.I. knew things had gone too far. Still, he admitted his feelings were mixed. He said he didn't enjoy seeing his sons jump into the drama, but he also respected that they were defending their mother. "The one thing I'm proud of is that the women and children in our family see that it's a line of men standing up," he said. Then he added something that hit differently considering everything that followed. "I'm here to defend. I'm here to protect what's ours. I'll die in the streets about this." T.I. likely meant it as a figure of speech, a statement of loyalty. But for King, someone who's been trying to prove he belongs in that same world, those words carry a much heavier meaning. Because T.I. lived that life. He came up in Bankhead when it was one of Atlanta's toughest areas. He faced legal trouble, served time, and lost people along the way. He earned his way out. King didn't. He grew up behind gates, with security, cameras, and a reality show documenting his life. And yet, he keeps moving toward the very environment his father fought to leave behind. Which brings us to the moment that sparked all the recent headlines, the claims that King was attacked by a gang on the street. Here's where things get complicated. This is where fact and fiction start blending together the way they often do when a celebrity's child becomes viral content. In September 2025, shocking claims began spreading across TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook. Some posts said King was hospitalized after a violent attack. Others claimed it happened in jail. Some even went as far as saying he needed emergency brain surgery. Others alleged masked individuals interfered with his life support at Grady Memorial Hospital. With every repost, the stories became more extreme. Claims about last words. Alleged pleas from T.I. for his son's release. But here's the key detail most people didn't stop to check. There are no credible reports confirming King was in jail after the October 2024 arrest. And there are no verified sources showing he was incarcerated during the time these rumors were spreading. The wave of content claiming he was jumped, hospitalized, or near death came almost entirely from unverified accounts. Many of these posts used edited images, AI voiceovers, and dramatic storytelling, but no actual sources. Account after account pushed the same narrative, but none of it traced back to confirmed reports from hospitals, law enforcement, or family representatives. And still, the story spread. That's the reality of the internet in 2026. A person with a history of controversy becomes the perfect target for viral speculation. King Harris has already been arrested on camera. He's had a public altercation with his father. He's gone viral for confrontations. He's stirred backlash with his words. Those real moments make the fake ones easier to believe. When people see headlines saying King was jumped in the street, it doesn't sound impossible. It sounds like something that could happen, and that's exactly what drives these stories. But just because the viral claims aren't verified doesn't mean there's no risk. If anything, it's the opposite. Every real situation, every Waffle House argument, every live stream rant, every arrest, Every public feud moves him closer to environments where his name won't protect him. As one commenter put it after the Waffle House incident, T.I. better get him before the streets do. Another warned, at this rate, it won't end well. Even T.I., in his own way, has acknowledged the concern. He said he's trying to raise his kids to be respectful, logical, and level-headed. But King's actions haven't reflected that. Instead, they've often been emotional, reactive, and highly visible, putting him in situations that draw attention for all the wrong reasons. The struggle meal moment in November 2025, where T.I. questioned King for serving what he called a struggle meal at his grandson's birthday inside their own home, showed that the identity conflict is still ongoing. King was still trying to present a lifestyle that didn't match his reality, even with his family calling it out. So what's the truth about King Harris allegedly getting attacked? The honest answer is it's unclear. The viral claims that sparked thousands of posts and conversations are, as of now, unverified. No confirmed reports, no hospital records, no official statements matching what's being shared online. It appears to be part of a growing wave of AI-driven celebrity rumors content built around real controversies to generate clicks. But the bigger picture? That's what really matters. Because whether this specific incident is real or not, King Harris has been moving toward a moment like this for years. Every confrontation, every headline, every time he told the world he stands on business, it's all been building towards something. And the fact that a story like this can go viral and be believed by so many without question says everything about how his narrative is being perceived. Maybe this time, the story isn't real, but the path he's on? That part is. And the real concern isn't just what happened, it's what could happen next.